I love you so much and will never stop loving you. Please don't leave me. This is the whole truth. I've dated her for 5 years. I tried so hard to cut the relationship, but it just didn't work. I swear I tried. But I realized I just couldn't leave her. I'm not married to her. And the plan is not to break our home and marry her in place of you. I swear with my life, that is not the plan. I love you so much. I don't know what would become of me if you leave me. Please. Yes, it's true. She had a baby for me. The child is 2 weeks old. All right, welcome back. We're talking about May Yuledoche and Yuledoche. What I just read to you is basically the text message that he sent to his wife, allegedly. I think this was a text message screenshot that was released by the lawyer when it was blowing hot some months ago. That's May Yuledoche's lawyer was very upset at one point, and it was blowing very hot on the internet. He did a video, said he's going to leak some more information, and he was talking about how Yul is no longer taking care of his fatherly duty to his children. And then he released some screenshots, and this is allegedly. This I'm saying allegedly because sometimes when these blogs carry stuff you don't know. But I thought there's some really cool things that we can get out of this letter that I just read. That letter right there, not letter again, text message, right? That text message is obviously from somebody desperate. Now there's a difference between somebody that's desperate and somebody that's remorseful. But who are we talking about? First of all, we're talking about Yul Edochie. Yul Edochie is an actor out of Nigeria who was married to May Yul Edochie, who is now an influencer after their marriage drama. He came out on the internet and he basically announced to the whole world that he was celebrating 2 years old of his brand new baby at the time. Okay. So the text message I just read to you was apparently, allegedly, composed 2 weeks after after he had a baby on his wife. But I don't think the whole world found out until 2 years later when it came out, and he basically said, "Hey, this is my newborn son that was born of my second wife." So what would happen? What happened between um when he first had the baby? Correct me if I'm wrong. Some of you know the story more than me. I'm just trying to extract some lessons here, right? Relationship based lessons precisely. What happens between 2 weeks old baby and 2 years later when the whole world found out? Well, what happened was that I think Gist Lover, one of the bloggers, was threatening to release some information, and he decided to jump out there and control the narrative. He hasn't really worked well since then. Okay, since then, he's basically been trolling himself on the internet, along with his second wife, you know, and second wife traditionally, I guess, because they said once you pay bride price, you're no longer just a side chick. You're now a second wife. So he wanted to jump out there and control the narrative, and that went completely left. But the text message that I read to you was a text message he sent after 2 weeks after the baby was born. And he was basically apologizing very desperately, as you could hear, to his wife, now ex-wife to be, and that's we're talking about Queen May Yuledochie now, right? So, what is going through the mind of a man that's desperate and begging, please? Because eventually was trying to do polygamy, but then it was basically cheating went wrong, and he said he's been trying to break up. It was so desperate, and he was confessing, like, hey, I've been dating this girl, I've been seeing this girl for 5 years. I tried to break up with her, but I couldn't break up with her. Right? That's basically what I just read. That's a man that was very desperate. Now, there could be a confusion between somebody that's desperate and somebody that's actually remorseful, somebody that's actually being accountable. There can be a lot of confusion between that. And the question I want to answer today is how do you know the difference when somebody is desperate and when they're actually accountable and they've changed, right? Somebody changing is basically a function of time, okay? And that means it's a lot of work that's been done internally before somebody can actually change. When we say change, also, did they change their behavior or they're hoping they can change? Because this is somebody that's already struggling with breaking up with a complete side chick. Is that a side chick? Is that just an affair? That's a full blown housewife somewhere else. Okay, not on paper, but that he had a whole different life somewhere else essentially. So you can imagine how difficult it will be for somebody to forgive that if you find out suddenly that they've had a whole life outside of you, right? So now, as I've always said, we don't really know what happened in their marriage, and honestly, it doesn't matter. There's certain lines you cross that it doesn't matter anymore, right? So now, what is the exact line between somebody that's accountable and somebody who is desperate? Well, there's something that keeps coming to my mind in all of this, right? Something keeps crawling through my mind. A person that's desperate might actually be delusional. They might think they are actually remorseful. But honestly, it's the rejection that breeds obsession. Okay, the fact that their whole life is about to flip over, even though that life had flipped over already the moment they decided to entertain a whole new life outside in a very committed way for that matter, to the point that you had a whole baby, somebody was pregnant all the way through for 9 to 10 months, 40 weeks, and then now, 2 weeks later, the person actually found out. You didn't even tell them because the tone of that letter, if you want to go and rewind and watch that letter, the tone of that letter indicates that he got caught. He actually did not confess up front. He didn't say, hey, I have something to tell you. Like before the whole world find out or before the information leaked back to her, right? He basically waited until she found out and then he's now saying it's true because that's the tone of the towards the ending of that text message. It is true that she had a baby for me 2 weeks ago. You see what I'm saying? So there's a lot going on there, and I just wanted to highlight the difference between a desperate person and an accountable person. A person that is desperate. I've been there. You and I have been there before, where we're apologizing desperately. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And you're wondering, well, I've apologized now. Why did you just say yes? Because that person you're apologizing to, they can feel it. They know that you're not being remorseful. They know it's not authentic. How do they know? Because how can you just wake up and you're suddenly sorry? What about the last 5 years before the person got pregnant, before they had a baby 2 weeks ago? Why weren't you sorry before then? You know? And I know for those of you that may be apologizing or you're looking for someone to forgive you, you might have a hard time understanding it, but it is what it is. They're not going to be able to believe you. They can't trust you anyway. I mean, after such kind of level of betrayal, it's going to be very hard to trust you. We all betray each other in these relationships, okay? But there's some betrayal that is going to be very, very hard to come back from. It's possible, it's going to take everything. It's going to take humility to the point where you will feel like, wait, I've been trying. I used to be there for you. I used to be there for you. Can't you forgive me this one time? And you're going to start to play the fairness game. You're going to be like, it's not fair. I was there for you. I did this for you. Can't you forgive me this one time? Yeah. That's unrealistic. If you understand how the human mind works, it's unrealistic. Okay? So basically, he jumped out there and tried to paint this narrative like he decided to get married to a second wife. That didn't work out. As you can see, he actually lost a son in the middle of trolling himself and try to lie to himself that he's okay with how everything turns out. He tried to lie to himself that, hey, every attention is good attention, right? He calls himself, stubborn. He was just celebrating Trump too, in a report that I saw saying, stubborn people's association. Listen, I understand the stubbornness that I'm also stubborn in my own ways, right? But there. Take it easy. There's a place where you cross the line that you're just deceiving yourself, you're making matters worse. So I just wanted to highlight this because I just saw this and I said, you know what? This is another good lesson for you, okay? If you want to apologize, you the apologizer, right? Make sure you've taken your time to process what you did wrong and why are you sorry? What are you sorry about, right? And you can't add but to the end of your sorries, okay? That will literally nullify it, negate your sorry, okay? And for those of you that you're confused, like, is this person actually changed? I'm confused. I don't know what to believe. Wait, if you're confused, relax. You don't have to make a decision right now. The world is not going to end, okay? Allow them to process what they've done wrong. Give them time. Forget that. Give yourself time to see a changed behavior. The best form of apology is a changed behavior, and that's it. And that's going to be a function of time. You have to do some work on yourself too, because you attracted that situation somehow, some way, and you need to assess that. If you need my help personally, I'm a marriage coach, relationship coach. I'm an author in relationship stuff. With the support of my wife, we've written books together. We also offer complimentary coaching sessions. You can book a free consultation with the links in the description box. You can also download the books for free in the description box. Hopefully you've been enlightened, educated. I will see you on the next one. Please help me like, share, and subscribe. Share this with everyone that can benefit from this. This video is about how to apologize and how to recognize an authentic apology, or if somebody's just desperate or they're accountable. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.